cavities with sprayed cellulose insulation. The test construction consisted of 2x4 studs, 16 inches on center on plywood backing. Generic cellulose insulation was installed in the wall and ceiling cavities. After spraying, the excess cellulose was removed using a stud scrubber, and the insulation was allowed to dry before the test was performed. One room corner was constructed so that only one stud edge was exposed to the ignition source. The edge of the stud was covered with a nominal 1.5-inch strip of kaol wool or ceramic fiber. The cellulose began to discolor or char at 57 seconds. The char area continued to increase. After 5 minutes of exposure to the 40 kilowatt source, the heat output was changed to 160 kilowatts. At 5 minutes and 1 second, the ceiling insulation began to char. The studs on the back wall and the right wall showed sustained ignition at 9 minutes and 57 seconds. No signs of flashover were observed after 15 minutes. NFPA 286 does not publish pass-fail criteria, but the test did not reach flashover conditions. Smoke and charring were limited to the first two stud cavities. No insulation fell from any of the cavities during the tests. No flashover condition were observed. Test 3. Wood cavities with fiberglass bat insulation. The test construction consisted of 2x4 studs, 16 inches on center on plywood backing. Generic, unfaced R13 fiberglass bats were installed in the wall and ceiling cavities. Wire clips spaced at 20 inches were used to hold the bats in the ceiling cavities. One room corner was constructed so that only one stud edge was exposed to the ignition source. The edge of the stud was covered with a nominal 1.5-inch strip of kaol wool, ceramic fiber. No system changes were observed during the first 5 minutes of exposure to the 40 kilowatt source. Therefore, the heat output was changed to 160 kilowatts. At 5 minutes and 13 seconds, discoloration of the fiberglass was noted up to the ceiling. The back corner stud ignited at 5 minutes and 33 seconds. There was sustained ignition at top plate at 7 minutes and 47 seconds. The rear target paper ignited at 11 minutes and 9 seconds. Flames exited the doorway at 11 minutes and 30 seconds. The flames seemed to travel the studs and moved in the gaps where the bats touched the stud walls. The test was terminated at 11 minutes and 41 seconds. NFPA 286 does not publish pass-fail criteria, but the test reached flashover conditions. 1. Average ceiling temperature approached 1400 degrees Fahrenheit. 2. Flames spread to the extremities of both walls during the test. 3. Flames exited the doorway. 4. Both paper targets ignited before 15 minutes. Test number 6. Wood cavities with low-density foam insulation. The test construction consisted of 2x4 studs, 16 inches on center on plywood backing. Generic nominal 0.5 pounds per cubic foot foam was installed in the wall and ceiling cavities. The foam was trimmed with saws so that it was flush with the studs. One room corner was constructed so that only one stud edge was exposed to the ignition source. The edge of the stud was covered with a nominal 1.5-inch strip of kaol wool, ceramic fiber. The specimen ignited at 9 seconds and flames reached the ceiling at 20 seconds. Heavy black smoke appeared and flashover occurred at 44 seconds. The test was terminated. NFPA 286 does not publish pass-fail criteria, but the test reached flashover conditions. 1. The average ceiling temperature approached 1900 degrees Fahrenheit. 2. Flames spread to the extremities of both walls during the test. 3. Flames exited the doorway. 4. Both paper targets were ignited. 5. Heat flux reached 85 kilowatts per meter squared. 6. Flames reached the ceiling during the first 5 minutes. The studs, headers, and joists were charred, and the insulation was essentially burned throughout the entire room. The smoke was very heavy and black. The fire was difficult to extinguish.